Hi, welcome back to Elevate English. As I said last episode, the best way to nail English is to really develop the skills needed to ace this subject. The most important skill, of course, is writing essays. You can know all the quotes, themes, and persuasive techniques out there, but unless you can construct a brilliant essay, you're not going to get brilliant marks. That is to say, you might have a great idea, and ideas matter, but if your essay is convoluted and unclear, your marker is going to have a hard time finding those ideas, and therefore isn't going to give you marks. So how do we approach essay writing? Over the next 3 episodes, I'll show you exactly how to pick apart essay questions and plan. I'll show you how to write killer introductions, and then how to best approach the body paragraphs. But to begin, I need to correct one major misconception. Producing a great essay isn't just about having great language, peppering your essay with quotes and using the word thus a lot. A great essay is as much about the thinking as it is about the writing. In other words, to get top marks, you need to really understand your essay question and methodically plan out your answer rather than just rushing into actually putting words on the page. So the rest of this episode is dedicated to the crucial steps required before you even write the first sentence. Of course, there are many types of essays you need to write. For now, we'll focus just on the text response essays. In the interest of fairness, I haven't chosen a text from any of your prescribed text lists, as this will disadvantage 90% of the students who haven't read it. Rather, I'm going to reference the Harry Potter series, because statistically speaking, most of you will be familiar with it. So how do we approach an essay? There's really 4 main steps to planning an essay. Step 1 is to read and dissect the question. This seems really obvious, but when it comes to exams, you wouldn't believe how many students rush into writing before really considering what the question is asking them to write about. So when you're in the exam room and you start your essay, step 1 is to read and dissect the question. For example, let's look at the Harry Potter essay. The question asks, Harry is actually not the true hero in the Harry Potter series. To what extent do you agree? First things first, let's really think about the question. This is something that most students simply don't do. We need to define or flesh out the key terms in the question. This is where we start really thinking about what we have to write. For example, what is a hero? Or more specifically, what is a true hero? You'll need to think about what defines a hero. And why is the word true even there? Does that imply that while Harry may seem like a hero, he's missing some essential ingredient that would make him a true hero? The next question is then, what is a true hero? Or what does a true hero even mean? Remember, English doesn't have a set of right or wrong answers, and don't let that scare you. It's actually a massive help. Instead, it's not about being right or wrong, it's about how well you justify whatever answer you take. So you'd want to spend a minute or 2 thinking about what defines a hero. We also want to look at alternatives. That is, well, if Harry's not the true hero, who is? Perhaps our essay should not just discuss whether or not Harry is a hero, but that if he's not, who may be the true hero instead? Asking these qualifying questions is essential. By doing this, it forces us to move away from tunnel vision that we inevitably get when we see an essay question and want to dive straight into writing. It lets us actually consider all the alternatives. When we take a step back, we broaden our perspective and we can bring more material to the question. Ultimately, we should always be asking ourselves, what is the question testing? What is it really asking me about, and what is my genuine point of view on this? Also, when reading a question, it's extremely important to look at the directive or command verbs. This question asks us to what extent. This tells us that we need to communicate not only whether we agree with the statement or not, but how much we agree with it. This is a clue for us that there's breadth or room for us to discuss the extent of our agreement. How would it change if instead it said, Harry is actually not the true hero in the series? Compare and contrast the characters and their heroism. This would tell us that we absolutely must bring in other characters and place them alongside one another and purposely look at their similarities and differences within the context of heroism. The command verbs in a question can be very important because they're instructing you on how to approach the question. The statement or question is the what. In this example, the what is heroism. However, the command verb tells us where we're supposed to approach the what from and how we're supposed to write about it. There's a big difference between just describing something and actually analysing it. So at the end of this episode, you'll want to download our list of command verbs so that you're absolutely sure how to approach a question when you start by reading and dissecting it. Once you've done that, we can move on to step 2, which is all about forming a contention. So once we've broken down the question and actually understood what it means, it's time to take a position on it, to give an opinion on it. So step 2 is form a contention. For this question, which asks us to what extent do you agree, we may answer that we do agree that Harry is not the true hero, and perhaps we could build on that by saying that it is the less prominent characters, such as Ron Weasley and Neville Longbottom, who are the true heroes instead. Once we've formed a contention, we have the overarching theme or idea for our essay. Contentions are just fancy words for a point of view. And remember, the best way to work out your contention is to just honestly ask yourself, what do I think about this? Often your intuitive answer will represent what you really think, and then it's just a matter of digging around to find out why you believe that and how you can support that opinion in your essay. That why is your justification, your arguments. And that takes us nicely to step 3, which is plan out your major arguments. Your major arguments will be the basis for your paragraphs in your essay. One trick which I usually use if I'm using 3 paragraphs in an essay is to state the reasons for my point of view in the first 2 paragraphs, then use the 3rd paragraph to either rebut potential counter-arguments or to tie those potential counter-arguments back to things I've already written in the essay. This will ultimately depend on the question that you're answering. For example, in our Harry Potter example, we see that the first 2 paragraphs explain why Harry isn't a true hero. The following 2 body paragraphs go on to provide 2 alternative heroes, Ron and Neville. The key here is to keep it simple in your plan. If you're saying, no, I disagree, Harry is the true hero in the series, then all you need to do is ask yourself, why? Why do I think he's the true hero? Come up with about 3 main reasons as to why you think that. And once you have your main reasons, or your arguments, you can move straight on to step 4. So step 4 is all about providing and explaining evidence for your arguments. So within step 4, I want you to think about 3 pieces of evidence per paragraph, which can be quotes, facts, plot points, or anything else that backs up your argument. Most students stop after they include some evidence, but make sure that while you're actually writing the essay, you don't just give some evidence, but you give an analysis of that evidence, supplying some reasons why it supports your argument and what it specifically shows. But we'll touch on that shortly in episode 5. Once you've planned it out, you'll be ready to start writing. Remember, your plan is the skeleton of your essay. Your plan is not seen by the examiner, but it's where almost all of your marks are made. Think about it. If you have your main contention, major arguments, and then a few pieces of evidence to back up those arguments, your essay is basically written. All you need to do is fill in the blanks with words on your exam booklet. So you've got 3 specific action steps for this episode. Firstly, download the exam-ready essay plan. It shows exactly how I planned out the Harry Potter essay that you have, and how I would have written the same plan in shorthand in the exam room, where your time is of course limited. Have a read of it. The second action step for this episode is to practice planning your own essay. Now to do this, I want you to plan out an essay for the reverse of the question that we just looked at. That is, plan an essay for how you would disagree, suggesting that instead Harry is the true hero of the Harry Potter series. Finally, I want you to download the command verb list that we talked about earlier, so you have it as a resource across the series. Good luck, and as always, if you have any questions or comments, just put them below and I'll do my best to get back to you. I'm Ral, and you're watching Elevate English.